It's so important to take risk. And I know it can be scary. I know, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. But if you don't take the risk, then you'll never know what the outcome will be. And for so long, for as long as I can remember, I never took risk. I always wanted to play it safe. I always wanted to do the right thing. I had to be careful. Oh no, right? And even with me being very careful in life, I still made mistakes. I still did things that I regretted later in life. There was no turning back from the things that I did. All I could do was learn from those mistakes. And I had to realize that those mistakes were helping me to grow. They were helping me to learn what to do and what not to do. And that's the whole purpose of maturing. Maturity is so important. We have to allow ourselves to go through the pruning process. I call it the transformation process. We start off as children, we grow up, and now we're teens. Then eventually we hit those adult years. And in between us growing up, we followed patterns, right? We have grown accustomed to the way things were in our childhood. And so when God comes in and he shakes some things up in our life, he allows some things to fall apart, what was hidden deep down inside of us begins to surface. Now we're fearful, we're scared because we're in an unknown place. It doesn't make sense. Why is all of this happening all of a sudden, right? And God is taking you out of your comfort zone. And this is where now more than ever you have to take that risk because he's going to call you out of your comfort zone. And so that's what's been happening to me. God has been taking me out of my comfort zone. He's been allowing what's been embedded in me to come to the surface. And a lot of it has been fear and panic. I've just been very shaky lately. And it's because God is teaching me. He's teaching me what my parents didn't teach me. He's teaching me what I never learned in the environment that I grew up in. You see, my mother and father, they didn't go very far in life. My mother only had a high school diploma and my father only had a GED. So a lot of what God has been teaching me has been learning how to be a good steward, how to manage my money, and here recently, how to invest. I wish I could say that my life has been easy. It has not. I grew up in poverty. I grew up with a father that was loving, but at the same time, it was dysfunctional. My mother, she dealt with a lot of insecurities and different things of that nature, and we didn't have the best relationship growing up. And regardless of my upbringing, moving forward, I can still make choices to better my life, to do what my parents were not able to do with the limited understanding that they had. And I don't fault them because now as a grown woman, I can learn. I can buy the books that I need to buy to learn what I need to learn. I can pray and ask God for wisdom, for knowledge, for understanding, and he will give it to me, as his word says. And in me doing that, God has shown me the areas in my life where I could have been better, especially when it came to managing. But you see, I was too afraid to take a risk. I was too afraid to save because what if I have to pull out of my savings or invest because what if it doesn't give a return, right? Especially when you don't fully have an understanding of stocks and bonds and, diversifying so much. It can really drive you crazy if you don't really know what you're doing. And if I'm being honest, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm taking a risk. I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to plant that seed. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to start the business. I'm going to keep posting on the YouTube channel because you never know who these videos are going to reach. You never know where the increase is going to come from. But I have to begin to plant those seeds. And that's why it's so important for us to do what God is calling us to do because he wants to change the trajectory of your life. He wants you to be the generational curse breaker. He wants you to be the millionaire in your family, the one to leave the generational wealth. And if you're too afraid to take risk, you won't do it. You won't do it. You'll just sit on your money and you won't grow your money. And that's exactly what I was doing. I'm just sitting here. It's just sitting in the account, but it's not multiplying. And it's because I didn't know how to multiply it. I didn't know what to do. I have the Dave Ramsey's book. I have another book by, what's his name? Dwight Nichols, God's Plans for Your Finances. I have Joyce Meyer, Worry-Free Living. I have all these books, but I haven't been opening them and applying them to my life. They're just sitting there collecting dust. But I crack open that Bible. I get on here and I create YouTube videos. But there's other wisdom and knowledge out here too that others have obtained just from their own lessons, their own mistakes, their own failures, right? So if you don't do anything else, I want you to start taking a risk. Don't be afraid to start, to begin, to do. Because the future that you want is in your hands. But it's going to take you taking that risk. See you on the next video.